in honor of basketball in the NCAA tournament, we're doing a round table for the round ball.
Like literally round.
We're going to have 2 guests.
I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Really?
You think Chaston's ready?
No.
You don't think? No.
I
Coach Chambers is going to be ready.
Here's the thing. He was on TV all last week.
Oh, he's a pro now. We've created a monster.
Well, he's a semi-pro.
I think you've
Let's
created
go
a
with
monster.
semi-pro.
Like
we created one with you, didn't we?
The next Jim Gazzola.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Brother.
Grooming that you do,
Brother.
It's unbelievable.
Enough.
I mean, really.
Jim Gazzola, Heath Sawyer.
You should get.
Oh, brother. This is Poke Nation. At some point in time, this will be Poke
Nation. You should get paid for him as a mentor.
Well, I'm up for that.
Yeah,
I'm up for anything that brings money in.
He should do that for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's my point. I'm going to say this tonight on Podcast. I'm going to say it tonight right now.
Okay.
If you win a game in this tournament,
yes, I
will dress up as Rowdy before the game starting next season at midcourt for the pregame.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds great. Let's get a uniform, and I'm taking the pokes. I'm taking the pokes.
Well, you have to.
No, I mean, I have a lot of faith in this staff, and I like, look.
Oh, for God's sake, I would hope you wouldn't go against
Here's the thing, everyone texts me, right? Like, oh my gosh, I love this, or oh, Clemson's real good. Like, listen, there's 68 teams playing for a national championship. Everyone's good. Everyone is good. They all have good players. They all have good coaches. They've all had unbelievable years. But that's what it's all about.
I do a little differently.
Okay, of course you do. What do you do?
Most of them are out by Sunday. There's only 16 left by Sunday.
That is true.
So there you go. Let's move on. Can we move on now? All right, okay. So we got the NCAA tournament.
How about that?
Leaving for Providence.
Yes.
You ever been in Providence?
I drove through it, but yeah, it's going to be great.
I drove through it.
Yeah, I drove through it. Yeah. I mean, I recruited the Northeast quite a bit when I was coaching, so yeah, I've been there.
What's it like to be a coach in a tournament? You've been in the tournament.
It's awesome. I thought about our staff last night because I remember, when we went to the tournament multiple times, it's like, okay, I had the first game, and this coach is working on the next 2 opponents potentially, and you got to get a scouting report together, and you're watching film, and you're going to meet, and honestly, as a coaching staff, you're on pure adrenaline because you got to get everything done in time. You got to get a game plan, and I mean it's great. It's the most exciting time, and this is what I say all the time too. You and I have had this discussion. The great thing about men's basketball, the NCAA tournament, it's the number one. It's the most watched sporting event in the country by far. Number 2, we are competing for the national championship. In theory, there are 68 teams competing for one national championship. That's what's really exciting, and it's unlike that in other sports. So it's great. It just like truly embraces in the entire country. I mean, people are going to be missing so much work on Thursday and Friday watching tournament games. It's amazing.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're not going to get sick this week like last year, are you?
I hope not. I thought about that too. Yeah, I was really sick when we got to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
That's stressful time for ADs too,
Why?
Well, lots of stuff going on.
What are you going to do?
Well, you got to do all the travel. You got to manage all the people. You have people wanting to get on the plane.
You
got
shake
tickets.
A bunch of hands.
I do?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Shake a bunch of hands, kiss a bunch of babies, pretend you're a politician.
That's what you think
in the world.
Okay, got it. I'm glad that's
tell rich guys to send in money.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I ever see.
Yeah, because that works.
I mean, I guess it does. All right, what would one win mean? What's one win mean for this program, this branding of this university?
I mean, look, we've already broke records, and it's been a historic run the last couple of years, and to go and win a game or so in the tournament would just be icing on the cake. But look, Clemson's really, really good, and we'll have to play extremely well. But just being there and the journey that it takes to get there is something that's just we'll all look back and go, wow, that was awesome. But to win a game would be unbelievable for this program.
It would be something, and it would be a first, but it is going to be an interesting game because they're big, They've got experience. They went to the Elite Eight last year.
Yeah.
So
Look,
this is a good team.
yeah, they got a great coach. They got really good players, and listen, everyone in the NCAA tournament's really good, and we'll have to play extremely well. But I truly believe that we'll be prepared, and our coaching staff does an unbelievable job in game planning, and we're going to have a great scheme on both sides of the ball. We'll have a great scheme in special teams, in situations and out of bounds, and this is what March Madness is all about. It's on a neutral floor with neutral refs, and I'm really, really excited.
Well, we're going to talk about that after this with Brendan Chambers, assistant coach, and also the guru of figuring out where
It's
they're
Rain
going.
Man. He's like Rain Man. If you would have walked in his office the other day like I did, like I got a headache. I mean, if this person wins this and this is going to slide, and he's unbelievable. He might be one of the smartest people I've ever been around. Really.
Ask him what his text got at 10:26 yesterday. Just that's all I want to know. Just who gave him a text and what he got at 10:26.
I'm sure it was you.
And Chaston Tavares will be with us.
Okay.
He covered the Southland last week.
I know.
From upstairs.
I know we was kind of tongue in cheek a little bit earlier, but he's done a great job. And watching him grow, I don't want to get his head too big, but watching him grow has over the last year or so has been really, really, really cool. I'm really happy for him. You've done an unbelievable job mentoring him. He's going to be bigger and better. There's no doubt in my mind. He dresses better already, but
who doesn't?
But who doesn't?
Who doesn't? I can accept that. I can fully accept that. You know that.
Oh, 100%.
When we come back, we'll have our guests after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinandson. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinandson Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys.
From the outside, you may not be able to tell, but once you get inside, you'll know instantly. Ray's Lounge on Ryan Street is your place. Ray's Lounge is the place where good working people of Lake Charles come to relax after work. Enjoy daily specials, live music at night, all in a comfortable neighborhood atmosphere. Make sure you step inside Ray's Lounge. It's your place.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
New to Lake Charles, but not Louisiana, Mockler Beverage has been a leading Anheuser-Busch distributor for over 35 years. Known for an unwavering commitment to quality and service, we're excited to bring our excellence to Southwest Louisiana. Our exceptional portfolio of brands ensures we have the perfect beverage for every taste and occasion. Experience the Mockler difference, where every sip tells a story of excellence and satisfaction. Mockler Beverage, we serve Southwest Louisiana. For more information or to join the team, go to mocklerbeverage.com.
Polk Nation, welcome back. We have a round table to talk about the NCAA tournament. Brandon Chambers, Chaston, thank you guys for being here. Chaston, before we get started, how is it being mentored by by Gonzalo the Great? Just real quick. We take 30 seconds.
Certainly an interesting guy. I mean,
yes.
Jack of many trades, is that what we call him?
Yeah.
It's
Master of none.
The master of none.
Amongst other things. Let's move on.
Okay, got it.
All right, I'm going to ask the first question because you've obviously ruined your opportunity. Coach, you seem to do all the data points in that, and you hit it right on the nose last year. How hard is that to do, especially when you have upsets on the Sunday before? Because nobody expected Wisconsin, Michigan in the Big Ten final. How does that kind of influence? And what's kind of the biggest surprise from this, do you see this year?
Well, obviously the NCAA tournament committee with the teams that got in and the teams that didn't get in, and the seeding was kind of all over the map in some ways, where you can't really justify how it's been in the past, which is kind of the best indicator, how they'll use, the formula going forward. So that kind of threw some things in the loop. And then obviously with Michigan winning the Big Ten title, that may have moved them up a seed line. They stayed as a 5. I had them as a 5, potentially a 4. So there's some chaos there at the last day. For us, it really came down to the mid and low major leagues, whether or not that there would be an upset. We kind of needed some leagues to chalk all the way through where the number 1 seed won, so they didn't get 2 or 3 teams in, which would then have pushed us back down to a 13. But yeah, it's pure chaos there the last 48 hours because the conference tournaments are finishing, so you don't know who the AQs are. You don't know, will the committee take a Big Ten tournament run title and push Michigan up, and then therefore pushing teams down. So it's pure chaos. And to be honest, last year I kind of got lucky with the selection this year. At about 10 o'clock in the morning, Jimmy G's bracket guesses came out, and he told me
I had one guess.
Time and place.
And you had it.
Yeah, but here's why.
On the head.
You do all the basketball analysts and that.
Yeah, your theory behind it was very,
it's
very,
a TV show.
Oh, they want
and
the story.
The best storyline is Will Wade, the manager, going back and playing his old team with the new hot manager. Now they can play Amir and the whole pocket thing, and they have a good first-round game to promote. That's my take on it. Now, I didn't know Providence for sure, but I thought they'd want to kick it off early game. So that was my thought.
I could have saved myself 8 hours if I just would have called you.
No doubt. Hey, let's talk about this, though. My question, before we get into McNeese and Clemson and all that, you alluded to it. I was shocked that North Carolina got in. And to be honest with you, it makes no sense to me how you take them in front of Indiana and other people, West Virginia, where they had, look, you had one quad 1 win. But I think it goes back to, I hate to say this, but the brand of North Carolina basketball is still the brand of North Carolina basketball.
It's a 3-week TV show.
But I'm telling you, I was shocked, we're trying to schedule in quad 1s and quad 2s, and I'm like, they're 1 in whatever against quad 1s in a really, really bad ACC, and they got in. I was really surprised.
Well, that leads me to this question for you, because you do the scheduling too. Is it better? What happens and influences it more? A good win or a bad loss? Because it seems like Liberty beat you on a neutral floor. They finished behind, but they finished behind you. The year before, you beat UAB at UAB, and they finished ahead of you. So is there any way to schedule that way?
To be honest, I don't know. I wish I could tell you, but to both of your point, West Virginia is 6-10 in quad 1 games. The committee reasoning, not having the head coach's son, who's a heck of a player, not having him all year. Well, they lost him in November. So look, there's a million reasons or things that you can come up with. And then as far as, that's a great example. So Liberty in the net this year was 60. We were 58. Theoretically, if you just use purely the net rankings, we would have a better seed than them, which it did end up being that way. But last year, UAB ended up winning their conference title. We beat them at their place head-to-head, and our net was 20 or 30 spots better, but they were seeded better than us. So in my thinking, I actually had Liberty ahead of us because the Conference USA strength of conference was 9th in the country versus the Southland's 21st. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, committee will give them, the stronger resume overall based on their conference alignment. So Look, at the end of the day, I think where they've convoluted the process is over the years, they've used different things like strength of schedule or strength of record. They use BPI. Now they use 7 different metrics. And the net was supposed to be the big thing that was able to indicate one team versus the other. But as we've learned, I mean, you look at last year, Indiana State not getting in the tournament, and they had one of the best nets in the country.
Good point.
And then this year, I think there's 9 to 11 committee members, and they have 5 new ones this year alone, based on when their time runs out. But they use 7 different metrics. They use the net, then they use 3 results-based and 3 predictive metrics.
It's just too much.
Oh, it's
too much, right?
How do you
Well, it almost
determine
feels
one
like
team?
they go on a year-by-year basis on what they want to use and do when they want to do.
So it's
I think brand matters more than they thought on.
Correct.
Yeah,
I think the biggest one missing out was West Virginia.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I would say that was a surprise, but we'll get in more to the tournament after this on Poke Nation.
At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinandson. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinandson Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys.
From the outside, you may not be able to tell, but once you get inside, you'll know instantly. Ray's Lounge on Ryan Street is your place. Ray's Lounge is the place where good working people of Lake Charles come to relax after work. Enjoy daily specials, live music at night, all in a comfortable neighborhood atmosphere. Make sure you step inside Ray's Lounge. It's your place.
We're back on Poke Nation. Interesting topic right there about what is brand more important than the metrics, is what really matters. Chaston, as you saw the Southland this year, you saw it improve from last year. Do you think there's a point at some point in time where the Southland could actually get 2 in? And what are the metrics that helps the Southland bump up even more?
Look, I think we've talked about it a couple of times this year. You know, say McNeese would have lost the conference tournament, but they had won, you know, maybe a Santa Clara or maybe had beaten a Mississippi State, they would have, I think, been right on that bubble. So to your point of can they get 2 in, I think at some point you can. But again, it takes, you know, winning one of those bigger games, whether it be the Santa Clara, the Liberty, Mississippi State, you know, maybe 2 of those 3, or maybe you can just get 1 of those 3 and maybe have a chance to get in. Is it a possibility? I think absolutely. It's going to take the right team. Now, again, we've seen the Southland this year have a major improvement. You know, they go from 29th to 21st in terms of basketball on the conference rankings. You know, and you're seeing so many top 200 teams now in terms of the KenPom ratings, in terms of the Southland. I mean, I think we have, 5-6 teams inside of the top 200, which is an improvement because you look at it in years past, there were 2 teams, you know, in the top 200. So I think, you know, to your question, I think there is an absolutely improvement. I think there's absolutely a chance they could get 2 in moving forward. Again, I think it just takes the continuing buying in of different programs. And I think we've seen that just in 1 year. You know, the conference saw what, you know, McNeese was able to do with what Will Wade and you guys were able to do buying into basketball, and I think we've seen that across some of the other schools.
AD-wise,
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be really, really hard. I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's really, really hard. It's a very fine needle to thread. You know, like Chaston said, okay, like if we would have beat Santa Clara and this team and go 19-1 and get to the finals,
You're basically having to go near perfect.
I mean, you know, so is it possible? Yes, but
probable not.
Probable, I don't see it.
Coach, when you guys do this now, moving forward, there's talk of expansion in the tournament. One, do you want to see that? And does that really help you guys? Because everybody's going to say we're going to see more brands.
So I'm vehemently against it, just because you're always going to have a bubble. You know, like they expand the college football playoff, and there's still more discussion about this team or that team. Or I just think that last grouping, that last 4 to 8 teams that either get in or don't get in, there's going to be discussion about why didn't they get in versus that team. And to be honest, the more teams that you add in, there's more of that gray area, like there is with the UNCs this year, the West Virginias or Indianas or Xaviers or any of those teams that don't necessarily lean one way or the other in the metrics, or you can use one metric and it clearly says one team or another and it clearly says the other. There's going to be more of that gray area as you kind of go down the path. To Chaston's point about the league, and Heath has been awesome with our scheduling. We set this year up to have a top 25 schedule. I think we finished 23rd in the country in the non-conference, and we told our players, Coach was great with it, like this is if we're a Power 5, this is our conference schedule. You know, like we're going to play a lot of these heavy hitters, and we did. And unfortunately, you know, some of those games that we needed to win, we weren't able to pull it off, which could have potentially positioned us. But at the end of the day, you know, it also depends on, you know, how your league is, which it was elevated this year. Will it continue on that linear progression? And do they take care of business in the non-conference as well?
The problem with that and saying that with the power conference is you're playing your big games then before when you're just getting your team together. That's a pretty tough way to go, and that seems to be you're a much different team than you were the first 3 weeks of the season.
No question. And then if you think about just in the summertime when the guys got here, Sincere Parker was dealing with a prior injury. We didn't have Brian Celebonge until basically the fall. And Alan Breed gets hurt right before the season starts. So we're literally, as the season was tipping off, recreating our team within weeks, where a lot of teams, they get there in June and they've been working on, you know, rotations, lineups, personnel, schemes, all of that stuff. And it takes some time. And credit to our guys, because they were dealt a tough hand to have to go through that. And we didn't, you know, do them any favors by playing a semi-neutral on South Dakota State soil, which I believe they're 22-0 or 23. They've never lost in their building. And then playing at Alabama, playing in North Texas at home, Santa Clara at home. You know, those are tough teams when you're still trying to figure out your identity as a group.
For all three of you, what do you think of the tournament here? The Southland improved from last year. What do you think?
I thought it was great. I thought the fan support was amazing. The conference, I thought, did a really good job. You know, I think that the way they, you know, redid the floor and put all the drapes everywhere, it was phenomenal. I think the conference is really happy. Talking to the ADs and presidents, they're really excited about the venue and where it's at. I thought the conference did a great job.
As a coach?
I thought it was awesome. I don't think enough credit is given to the commissioner, obviously Heath, with coordinating everything. We're basically kicked out of our offices, out of the arena, and they completely change it over. It doesn't even look like our arena. I thought they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, no, I agree. Look, and if you look top to bottom at the games, I mean, we had competitive games throughout.
Yeah.
You know, where in previous years there were blowouts, you know, in the first couple of rounds. They weren't as good games. The men's side was tremendous for the first couple of games. So was the women's. We had tremendous games all throughout. And I think in terms of the South, you can't ask for anything better than that.
No, it seemed like they were improved from the last couple of years. When we come back, we'll get final thoughts after this from everybody.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us.
We're back for final thoughts on the tournament and McNeese's chances. Last year, everybody, we saw Gonzaga. They have experience. They had a lot of size. They did a lot of things. They were probably not supposed to be a 5 seed. Clemson may not be a true 5 seed either. They may have been a 4 or something like that. But what do you think is different this year with everybody?
I mean, for us, I think just from an administrative standpoint, you know, this is the second year. So I think oh my gosh, you know, we're there. Now it's like, for us, it's okay, let's be really, okay, when do we want to leave? What's the best chance? We want to have a practice here. Like, it's more a business-like approach from our administration, which I really like. I think that it was 20-some years, and it's something to celebrate, but I think year 2, it's more, okay, what can we do as an administration to give us a best chance to go there and make a run in the NCAA tournament?
For players and coaches, you guys have been there and done that before, but for this group of players and that, how important was it to kind of get the awe of last year out of the way so you can go in and be more business-like this year?
Well, Coach hit it on the head. So last year, the only one that had played in the NCAA tournament was Hade.
Yeah.
And so when you go into an arena, and we had been telling our guys all year that it is the Roman Coliseum and it is the Super Bowl. And to Heath's point, it applies directly to the players as well. I knew it was going to be a tough task when we walked in there. We're at the Utah Jazz Arena, and a couple of our guys, a couple of our managers were looking around, and they're saying, like, is it going to be full tonight? And I was like, you guys have no idea. And then right before our game was the Nevada-Dayton comeback. And the arena is just roaring. And, so I think for us it was a little bit of, like what he said with the administration, just had been a while, or for some of these guys had not gone. And now we've got a veteran group that kind of knows what to expect when they get there and knows the beast that's waiting on the other side of the gate.
Yeah, it's not the overwhelming factor. It's going to be your first tournament.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've never been. And we get to go to Providence, which was where I wanted to go. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Why'd you want to go to Providence?
You're one of.
I'm a Sox fan, so I can take a trip to Boston.
Fan of Brown University, apparently. I wanted to go to Providence just for the timing. You start on the East Coast, West Coast, hard to get head deadlines and that. East Coast.
Good point.
That's
I
all
like warmer weather.
I would prefer. Well, yeah, if you're going to stay, I would prefer warmer weather. But
I don't know if we were getting warmer weather in any of the 3 sites.
Yeah. Or
the high of each of them were like
or
58.
a shorter flight.
Shorter flight's always important. Denver frightens me only because you could be there at 75 degrees one day and there's 16 inches of snow the next.
Yeah, I live right there.
And you're there for a week and you hate it. But I think that this is the interesting thing of the tournament is always this. There's always one region where just complete chaos happens. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like to see in it. It just, mine gets thrown out quicker than anybody's in the brackets, but I like to see the chaos. What do you like about it, the tournament?
I mean, just what you said. I mean, it captivates the entire nation. Everyone wants the upset. Everyone, I mean, it's the most watched sporting event in America.
And who's
not
winning
even
it?
close?
Who's winning it?
Oof, I don't know. I really think there's a handful of teams that have a chance to win it. And again, look, Florida Atlantic made it to the Final Four. San Diego State's made it to the Final Four. Like, you just never know. And, we get them into seeds, but to me, it's all about matchups.
Yeah.
Whether you're a 13, a 12, 11, or 14, whatever. It's the matchups and what happens in your pod.
Okay, you can't do a bracket, right? Officially?
No, I can't.
That's officially. But so who wins it? What type of a team wins it?
I think we'll win it all.
All right, there you go.
I'll play the company. No, I do think there's 4 or 5 teams.
Chaston's going to say that, so.
4 or 5 teams, but that's to Heath's point. It's March Madness. I was a part of the VCU team. Coach Wade was an assistant. I was a student manager. We go first 4 to Final Four. And
Yep.
I was there at Nevada when we were down 14 to Texas in the first round, won in overtime, and then we were down 22 against Cincinnati, the number 3 seed. Came back and won the game in regulation with 11 minutes left. So it's unbelievable. It's chaos. You get the matchups, you get the storylines, and it's all wrapped into 3 to 4 weeks of pure entertainment.
To me, the first 4 to the Sweet 16 or something is the great run. To have to play in Dayton and get deep in the tournament is an amazing thing to me.
Yeah, that's huge.
Who's going to win?
Florida.
You can say.
Florida.
See?
That's why.
See, that's the media right there.
Yeah,
I don't care.
You guys give your opinion.
How about you?
Yeah, who's going to win it?
Gazzola the Great.
You watch his McNeese basketball.
He did predict the matchup.
I don't like Duke, but I think Duke, if Cooper Flag is healthy.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Give me the Gators.
But I think there will be somebody in the Final Four that I'll root for that is a low seed. That's all I care about.
Love it.
We'll see where we go next week and what's happening, and if we're still in the tournament next week on Poke Nation.